But to be a game changer, you have to understand what you're solving for. Most people walk into, I've seen it over and over when they even come to sell me products. They have no idea what they're solving for.
Welcome to Unstoppable Podcast with Harry Sardinas, inspiring conversations with influential millionaires, investors, thought leaders, entrepreneurs who are making a massive difference with their innovative products and services, and sharing the challenges and wisdom of how they sold their first million.
So what are the myths around cybersecurity? If it's really that expensive, how people that startup founders, people with low resources, they can mitigate the risk. I learned in a highway. My lesson was hard because rebuilding 30 plus websites twice. Says God that we have a team that they're very good and we managed to do this really fast. But it was we had to pay again to our team, right? Because there was nothing there. So and there was no way that we could recruit because they have virus, they have something inside there that we're trying to clean it, and was taking more time to clean it the website than actually to build it again. So I told our team, don't worry. And then you clean it, and then you forgot something, the whole server goes down again. I said, okay, you know what? Forget it. And by the way, let's move out of server also. So then, Michelle, what are the things that founders can do in order to start to take seriously cybersecurity so they don't have a bad experience like Harry, for example? I'm paying attention to everything now. Oh, yes, to this. I'm very aware.
I'm
Yeah.
sure you do.
We have double password. We have everything that. So tell us,
Well,
Michelle.
listen, go ahead, Harry. I'm going to tell you, Harry, there's a couple of easy steps that they can take, and it doesn't really cost a lot, right? First of all, any small business owner needs to have a budget. You have to have a minimum budget of at least 2,000 a year, right? Bottom line.
Mm-hmm.
The larger you are, the more expensive it becomes. But at minimum 2,000 a year. And that's going to include your risk assessment, right? Understanding where your gaps are. Is it your website? Is it your internal infrastructure? Understanding how to get back up, right? Have backup. In your case, right? Was all your servers backed up? Were you able to turn them back on really quick? Because time is money, right? The quicker you get back
I think
into
it's
the
very
game.
affordable, 2,000 for the first year. To do simple
Yeah,
step like you said,
absolutely.
especially in the
And
backup space and things like this.
And
Yeah,
it's even cheaper than that to maintain it, right? We offer services, subscription services anywhere from 45 to 60 to $75
wow,
to protect or monitor your systems, right?
wow,
So there's things out there that you could do.
very
Even the federal
affordable.
government in the United States have free resources to help small businesses, and I turn a lot of people onto them. I share them those resources because, again, if you're just starting out, you're not really sure. You need multi-factor authentication, right? You need to make sure that your website's secure. You need to make sure your most important, your data, okay? Because all they really care about, these people that are hacking you, is your data. That's where
Absolutely.
ransomware comes in. They'll shut you down in a minute, right? We've all gotten them. Your emails, protecting your emails, training your folks. It's as simple as that. Don't click on something that looks suspicious. We love to click on those wonderful little images, but in a blink of an eye, you're downloading something. And that's the way they get in usually, right? I would say 95% of hacks come through the emails, right? Phishing schemes, or we call phishing. It's so many different types of things that are out there, you know, but test your system. Have it done at least once a year, right? Because a good test can tell you exactly where all of the gaps are, and then put the stuff in place that you need to. It's very simple. But I think, again, people hear cybersecurity, they're like, oh my God, it's going to cost a lot. How do we do that? We don't know how to do that. There's so many companies out there. You just got to understand what you need. And, I give out a free ebook that walks all businesses through the things that they can do. It shares them free resources that they can go to. And I think that's the important thing here, right? Starting to spread the word and building that community where people are comfortable getting involved, because cybersecurity is not going away, right?
Yeah, it's
We
just something
have
very common that happened. The other day I have a message from my friend that said, "Hey, can you please send me some money because I had to make a quick transaction and my bank is closed. whatever, and I send the money back to you tomorrow. Thanks God that I received thousands of messages. And I said, well, I'll go in tomorrow to see what can I happen. The thing, and then after 3 days, another friend come, listen, do you receive this from this guy? Look, this is the thing got hacked. Everybody, all his contact got the same message and has been a nightmare. Some people get the money, big headache, and I'm like, oh my God, thanks God that I receive a lot of messages. And I didn't have the time to to
Right.
deal with that. So that and it's coming by WhatsApp, so which is one of the largest companies, right? That you expect that they can monitor this, and certainly they are doing it. But the hackers, they're getting more and more clever. Like I said, another question, Michelle, right? Because let's talk about women in tech. How do you feel when you
Mm.
walking out, when you're walking in into a room full of men that they think that they know everything? Because this is something that we do. Yeah, this is something. Otherwise, we are not boys. Yeah, we know everything. Yeah, and then in a tech space, which is a male-dominated industry, and now Michelle need to go there and talk with all these boys and tell them, look, if you want to be safe, you have to trust me. Yeah, and you have to listen what I'm about to tell you. And I'm as good developer as all of you listening here. So tell us a little bit about, we have a lot of challenges with women in tech. The funding for women in tech is ridiculous. Compare what they give to man, and then we have less and less women entrepreneurs in the tech space successful because there is a bias in the whole industry that we need to do a lot of work, and this podcast is one of the things that we do. We promote women in tech, or we promote women in business. We want more women in business, and we definitely want more women in tech. I think it's a huge problem, and my first employee from my first business, they were all women, and they made me million. They sold me my first million, and they're making me a lot of money. So I'm very grateful to women as an employees and as managers and things like this. And I think they have a great potential. So, how do you feel the first time that you walk into a boardroom and you want to talk about your product, to talk about your services, and maybe you are the only women. Maybe they put the second one so you don't feel uncomfortable. But this is about the landscape, right?
Yeah, listen, Harry, there is opportunity obviously in every industry for women, right? Let's face it, it's not only women in tech. I mean, I will say I'm very proud to say about 20% of the industry now is women in tech, right?
Oh,
And it's
very
growing,
good.
right? So it's
Still
growing. When I
low.
walk into a room,
Funding,
and it doesn't matter
funding.
who you are, yeah, I think it's about you as a person, right? If you're going to feel insecure when you walk into a room, regardless whether you're a man, woman, whatever, right? Then they're going to feel it, right? I don't feel
Mm.
that way on myself. I've always taught myself be authentic. I know what I know and I know what I don't know. And as long as everybody can meet in the middle on that and you can have that direct conversation, I've had conversations, similar to what you're saying, and, I stand my ground, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, that's great. But, this is what I know, right? This is who I am. And I think that's very important for anybody out there, especially an entrepreneur. I remember selling my first time to my first client. I walked in there, I was nervous. And you know what I found? I told him, I said, listen, you're my first sale. I told him
Mhm.
straight out. I said, you're my
Wow.
first client. You're my first
Wow.
sale. I said, I'm a little nervous today, but you know what? I'm going to share with you the benefits of what I offer. And I hope
Wow.
at the end of this
Very
conversation,
powerful.
you'll be my first client. And it was very hard. But you know what I found, Harry? I find that the more authentic you are, and if you're true to yourself
Agree.
and you're not afraid, people are willing to help, right? You're going to get no's, and that's okay. There's nothing you could
Oh,
do.
especially
But
trying
you
to
know
find
what?
the
I'm going to
first
be a game
client.
changer.
Be
I
ready for
got him.
no. Finding the first client, be ready for no. Yeah.
And listen, it's going to happen. And listen, you know what I say all the time? I say, I always start with asking, how can I improve here? Right? Like, what can I do? And I think
Hmm.
that's important because you want to be a game changer. everybody's selling the same product. We all have the same similar background, to your point. There are people
Mm-hmm.
that know a lot more things than I have no idea, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was very fortunate to go to school and continue to go to school and continue to learn because that's the only way you stay ahead of the game. But making those connections are critical. And I found a lot of people who are cyber owners, and most of them are men, are willing to mentor me, right? They've been willing to help me. I reached out to them on LinkedIn. They've taken me under their wing. They've given me pointers. And, I'm very grateful. I'm grateful for that because, at the end of the day, it is a dominant world, but it doesn't matter. I think it's a matter of who you are. You have to be true to yourself, right? Got to ask why it didn't work and be all right to go back to the to the drawing board and start over. But to be a game changer, you have to understand what you're solving for. Most people walk into, I've seen it over and over when they even come to sell me products. They have no idea what they're solving for. They'll come and
Mm-hmm.
pitch to me, and I'm like, but what are you solving for? Like, what, you're all over the place. I know my business. I'm not going to go sell you pen testing when that's not my field. I could tell
Mm-hmm.
you about it. I could tell you
Mm-hmm.
what it does, but it's not my expertise, right? So, again, I think it's have to ask yourself those tough questions and have three good things in your life right now, right? I always ask myself, what are the three good things in my life today?
Follow us for more interviews with world's most influential, audacious entrepreneurs that overcame challenges and adversity, providing you with the blueprint of how they sold their first million so you can grow your business exponentially.